Hello, everyone. A very logical day to all of you. And let's see what we have here on August 15, the first editorial of the Indian Express. So happy Independence Day. And let's read it. What we have here. That is Happy Independence Day. So, the reading part. Today, Independence Day brings a precious reminder of the inextricable intertwining of the woman, institution, and nation and of their freedoms. Right? So, we have two good words here, though I have not highlighted it. You need to understand it in this way. I'll show you how. Inextricable. So, we have the word in as a prefix, and extricate is like separating something. तो something that is not to be separated वो inextricable हो जाएगा जिसे अलग नहीं कर सकते हैं. Intertwining, अच्छा हमें inextricable का meaning नहीं आता है. We still can understand the meaning of intertwining, right? Inter is in between. So now twine or twin तो हो सकते हैं कि दो लोग होते हैं. So that becomes a twin, the similar ones. So intertwining is like engaging, like entangled. So, inextricable intertwining of the women, institution, and nation. So, these three things cannot be separated. And of their freedoms. So, this is a moment too to ask a question. What will it take as they turn their faces to the future for all three to be more free? The women should be free, the institution should be free, as well as the nation to be free. What will it take as they turn their faces to the future for all three to be more free? In an effort to find answers to that, Indian Express invited five women whose work has prized open spaces and whose stories have admirably expanded areas of freedom for themselves and for others. Prized open is to like wrench open things, like एकदम थोड़ा सा ताकत लगा के फिर अपने लिए अपनी जगह बनाना. A box which is very tightly lid, the tight lid is there, you would prise it open, मतलब थोड़ा force करके, and then you'll open it, and whose stories have admirably expanded areas of freedom for themselves and for others. In the columns alongside is a special Independence Day package which showcases their journeys. So that means all those women who had been called, their journeys, you need to read those things. I did not include it here, no. An award winning sportsperson for whom freedom has meant overcoming disability and setting an example. A civil servant for whom it translates into a larger say in the system and the responsibility that comes with it. A newly elected MLA in Karnataka who is growing into her role as a people's representative while wearing a Dalit identity with greater ease. A politician whose father made that most fundamental of all choices, the choice of home at the moment of the nation's freedom and partition. A choice that became the springboard for her own flight. Right? Spring, I see how you marked the choice that became the springboard for her own flight to wider horizons. So here it becomes a metaphor, a choice being made a springboard. An academic who is part of the grand project of Indian education breaking silos going global. Silos यानी अकेला रहना, कंपार्टमेंट्स में वो साइलोस हो जाता है और उसे ब्रेक करना एंड गोइंग ग्लोबल वो एजुकेशन सिस्टम के हिसाब से. सो दीज वर द फाइव पीपल हियर, दोस who were invited by the Indian Express, right? Major point, only one. So individual journeys, powerful as they are, only parts of the story. Pieced together bit by bit, they add up to larger wholes, but a nation is also anchored by its institutions. Right now, what it is saying is about individual journeys. But then he's talking about the nations and the institutions' individual journeys. So, theek hai, they are part of the story. But what about the nation? A nation is anchored by its institutions. Ye kab rahenge free? That is, between women and nation lies the institution. And the freedom of institution shores up all other freedoms. As India concludes commemorations of its 75-year milestone as an independent nation and steps into more uncertain times, it is a moment to recognize why democracy took deep root in soil that was deemed unhospitable to it. So this country was considered too large, too poor, too illiterate. कैसे डेमोक्रेसी इतना मतलब डीपली इट हैज बीन देयर. The success of India's democracy has been in large part because of its institutions. At the same time, it is also true that many of the lingering democratic deficits can be traced to distortions in institutional cultures and capacities. So, whatever deficits there are, the democratic deficits that can be identified in the country, right? Some way or the other, the root for this deficit also lies in the institutions, their cultures, and their capacities. So, majorly, this part of the paragraph states that there are three things. One was the individual, the woman, the institution, and the nation. So, the individual journeys are fine, unique to everybody, still linked by the institution and to the nation. The nation is again anchored upon the institution, the individual is anchored on the institution. So, this is what is required, the combination of the three. And then he is talking about that what does India do for the democracy to be, यहाँ पे हम कर सकते हैं, the success of India's democracy and the deficits. Democratic deficits also because of the institutional cultures and capacities. Right? So here we have. Then third, part. But on the whole, be it the Supreme Court or the Election Commission, Parliament or RBI, IIT or ISRO, among other others, a complex mosaic of elected and unelected institutions has held up and continues to hold together this nation. With the constitution as the guiding light, the constitution तो है, तो हमारे पास चीजें आ गई, women, nation, constitution, institution or constitution is the guiding light, showing the way forward and erecting the guardrails for a safe journey. The CGI, Dhananjay Y. Chandrachud, writes on our front page today. On the institution he leads, the judiciary, so critical for the nation's traced with the future. So he is writing about the judiciary, the crucial, the critical part of a future. His article gives a flying start to a new and special series. And what is that series? At the steering wheel, the road ahead. ठीक है, तो स्टीयरिंग व्हील पे कौन होता है? जो उस गाड़ी को, इंजन को, गाड़ी को आगे लेके जाता है, वो स्टीयरिंग व्हील पे होता है, राइट? So the person who has given the first article here is the CGI, in which leaders of some of the country's premier institutions, अब ये करेंगे सब, will reflect in our pages on the opportunities and challenges on the road. Over the year ahead, we look forward to bringing you these stories of freedom and change that connect the individual with the institution and bind the institution to the nation. So, the last part is again coming up with the individual, the institution, and the nation. And the point to be noted here is that all these things, the opportunities, challenges that will be given by the country's premier institutions on the road ahead, ये सब तुम्हें पढ़नी है, the stories of freedom. This is something that you have to read. So daily you will be getting this. Daily करते हैं वो, weekly करते हैं. Let's see what they do. But then you need to come up with the reading of all these institutions. Your understanding of all these things will be better. क्योंकि कभी judiciary का देंगे, कभी बाकी के इंस्टीट्यूट्स का देंगे, आरबीआई का देंगे, these are mentioned, election commission, and all these things you will get in your passages also. So it's better you read about all this. So here we have the main idea. Ideas connect the individual, individual connects the institution, and institution connects to the nation. So but what will it take for all three to be more free? ये उसने शुरू में ही बोल दिया था. So that's all for today. Not many words we had. So thank you and stay logical always.